Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. In this panel discussion, we will discuss the core competencies and importance of cybersecurity, different sources of knowledge for learning cybersecurity, and research in cybersecurity field. So let's get started, right? And we will start with Pavani. And my first question to you is, what is cybersecurity and why is it important?
Thank you, Durga, for the great question. So, in my opinion, cybersecurity is protection of data within the information systems. When we say information systems, we can include hardware, software, and infrastructure services, and the services that are delivered through this kind of infrastructure from any unauthorized use or any misuse or any access that is prohibited from doing so. And then I would also say that cybersecurity is a term that had been stemmed from information security. Earlier, with the invention of the internet, there was a term called information security, and which is very common to all of us, that is used for protection of data in the digital world. And later, due to occurrence of cyberspace and then a lot of breaches happening and telecommunication connected services expansion, the term cybersecurity has come into boom. So this is my definition of cybersecurity. And the main motto of this term is we need to protect the information by following a CIA triad. That is very important in this field, where C goes for confidentiality, that is data protection, and I is holding the integrity of the data, and then A is the availability, making sure it is available at all times. Now, coming to the second part, why is the cybersecurity really important? Why do we need this? So, as I already said, there is a lot of cyber attacks going on, especially due to this COVID period and everybody being remote. So, we have seen a lot of increase in breaches in every domain, not only a single one. We have seen healthcare, financial, education, even with the government services. So, that is why everyone, either an individual or any business entity, everybody holds data that has quite a lot amount of value. So that's why the cybersecurity is really important, and everyone must make sure that they take utmost care. Let me give you a small example. For instance, if we visit a healthcare organization, like a healthcare visit, we provide all the basic information during the registration, our name, date of birth, social security. That is all information that has value. And if our social security number gets breached, what happens? Our credit cards get affected, and then that is directly related to the financial domain. And even our personal identifiable information, that is like date of birth and about a driving license number, are all being violated. I mean, they're all being given to unauthorized access. That's why we must make sure that even being as an individual, we must be aware that cybersecurity is something that we must be having a great eye on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pavani. I think you've detailed it so well. And it is totally important, right? To make sure that that is the very basic foundation of cybersecurity, is to ensure that the CIA triad is all the systems follow that, and it is it can support the CIA, right? And
Yes.
along with that, as you've mentioned, rightly mentioned, like there are too many cyber attacks out there, and it is important for us to make sure that the right types of controls and security solutions are in place, so that the data as well as the systems and the assets are properly protected, right? So it's so well formulated, the entire part.
Thank you.
So let's move to the next question, and this will be for Shafi. So many terms are used synonymously, such as information security, cybersecurity, and network security. Can you explain the difference between them, or do all of them mean the same?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for asking me this question. So, in a way, all of them are same. That is information security, cyber security, and network security, because everything is, meeting up to the same tree. That it is just a branches of a single tree. Branch has only thing is that one branch has more leaves and the other one has less leaves. So the most important thing is that information security,
pertains to security of the information that you have, like confidentiality of it, integrity and availability of data. Cybersecurity deals with protecting assets from cyber threats, like your PCs, computers, or your mobile phone devices, any electronic item which can be connected over the internet. Whereas the network security is that the devices that are connected in the network security in the network. My bad. The devices connected in the network need to be secured so that anyone else does not try to breach that network, and in short, cause cyber attacks. So, in summary, I truly believe that these terms share a common goal for safeguarding all our data and systems, but they differ in scope and their focus. So, for example, like information security depends on data protection and includes physical and digital data, emphasizing on policies and procedures. Whereas cybersecurity, deals with protecting the digital assets from cyber threats.
Right.
And network security accordingly, secures the data during the transmission in a particular computer network, without allowing someone else to breach into the network. So this is how I believe that based on the scope and process of that particular, field, they differ, but overall, all are one and the same.
They belong to the same tree. I agree with it. Like, there are different branches. They may be supersets or subsets of each other, but by the end of the day, the goal is that, they're part of securing the entire assets and the data as such, right? So, thank you for the defined answer and properly differentiating between all the three terms. And in general, as you said, the field itself is maturing, that you do have a lot of terms that are synonymously used, and it is important for us to understand how different terms are related with each other, but at the same time what all of them stand independently, right? Thank you, Shafi, for giving such a detailed answer. So we'll move to the next question, and the next question is for Dedeepya. Is cybersecurity confined to securing information in only few industries, or is it required for all the industries? And also, in addition to the question is, what does the future of cybersecurity look like?
Thanks, Durga. That was a great question, and I was also thinking about it a lot lately. And to be specific, cybersecurity is not confined to few specific industries, because we cannot restrict the scope of the cybersecurity to a particular industries. In the increasing resilience of technology and internet, there is a high chance, like there is a vulnerability of cyber threats. So, for example, if we consider the healthcare industries, they need to protect the sensitive information like patient information. And and if we consider financial services, they need to protect the transactional data and customer data. And if we consider the retail industry, they may have like issues like data theft and etc. So there is a need for a cyber security, and we cannot restrict it to only specific sectors. And everyone, and even I would say every individual in the organization on the board should emphasize the need of cybersecurity and in this digital world. And coming to the next question, that is the future of the cybersecurity. It evolves continuously as the technology advances. Because in the recent trend, like we have 5G connectivity, Internet of Things, AI, and machine learning, all these are creating a vector of attacks. Like they are creating a sophisticated attacks. So we need higher defense systems to protect against them. So cyber security should evolve continuously. And the objective is that we need to be proactive and address the challenges in the cyber security and make the future generations aware of this.
Correct. Correct. And so well put, right? Because there are two things that I had a good takeaway from what you said is about the awareness that everyone needs to have, as well as the future. Like, there's so many components in cybersecurity, and it is important for us to understand how it can evolve over time, along with the future trend that comes along with the picture, right? So yeah, thank you so much for detailing it in such a good way, right? Thank you. So we'll move to Yaseen. So what, according to you, are good sources of information for cybersecurity awareness and also sources of knowledge for learning cybersecurity as a subject?
Thank you very much for the question, Durga. And I believe in this day and age, we have a lot of good sources that one can utilize to enhance his cyber awareness or improve his knowledge about cybersecurity, right? So one can simply start with Google. A simple Google search will let you know what cybersecurity is. You can find out the definitions and what are the different terms that come under the umbrella of cybersecurity. You have hacking, we have different types of hackers and everything, right? So I would start as with a simple Google search for beginners, so you know where you are and what you're indulging into. After that, a YouTube has everything for everyone, right? And there are a lot of YouTube channels whose whole content is based on raising awareness of cybersecurity and in that general area. So one thing about that is usually a lot of these videos have some type of visual in it. And if you're a visual learner like me, you'll be able to, grasp those basic topics and everything in a better and concise manner as well. So I would suggest that as well. And there are a lot of educational websites, right? Like Coursera and Udemy. So they offer a lot of courses and they offer a lot of certifications as well. So I believe the most popular one is offered by IBM, and I think it's called IBM Cybersecurity Analyst Certification. So you can do those as well, and that will help you improve your knowledge in that. So one thing I like about these is that, they are pretty flexible. So you can just take your own time, you can on your own pace, you can whenever you're free, you can start, and usually they are free. And if not, there is a minimal cost. And usually for students, the university also provides these certification courses. And in the future, if you want to pursue a career in cybersecurity, these certificates can help you then as well. So it's a win-win. So apart from that, I guess following, these blogs and websites, one good thing is following these government websites.
True.
So they usually post what is happening around the world and, just to improve the cyber awareness around people. So one website which I found was CDSA, and I believe it stands for Center of Development of Security Excellence. I
Right.
just read that, but it's very good. So one thing which I found on there was I found a case study where they were discussing about cybersecurity awareness, and they followed a scenario-based approach instead of, just having some topics and just giving what this is, the definitions and all that. They followed a scenario-based approach. For each topic, they gave a scenario and they told us what you're expected to do, what you're not supposed to do, and how these things pan out. So I found that pretty interesting. So people can do that as well. And after that, I would just suggest, everyone has social media, right? So there are a lot of YouTube pages, YouTube channels, and Instagram pages. So connect to those. I guess HackFi is also one of the YouTube channel which people can watch. And this depends on everyone. So something which I might enjoy might not be enjoyed by others. So just, enter the field and search for different options and stick with what you like.
Right.
So I believe these are some of the ways in which, you can improve your cybersecurity knowledge and awareness in general.
Right. Again, ironically, right, it is what you said totally makes sense, because to understand the cybersecurity part, the source again is cyber. Like you get all of the things in the digital platform, and I agree with you on the government websites, because these days I have come to realize, especially in the last few months, probably, is that there's so much of information the government is placing for just for the awareness of the public. It can be from the incident reports, along with even from just a security awareness standpoints, just quizzes and videos and things like that. As you said, simple Google searches will also help you with the basic information, right? So that is totally legit. And especially from the courses standpoint, I like that part is because they're very structured in a sense that you'll get to learn about everything that you need in one package. So when you kind of learn a course, that is the difference between why a course is different from learning a PDF or just a few videos that come along with just for the awareness part, right? Courses kind of give you the entire bundle. And it is also well put that all these resources are available, and it kind of is our responsibility, as Dedeepya mentioned, that somewhere it is a personal responsibility that we kind of secure our personal data. So whatever we kind of do, we need to make sure that we are always aware about what happens out there. So thank you so much, Yaseen. And the next question is to Kossi. Kossi, how can one approach research topics in cybersecurity? And what skills are needed for people who want to perform research in cybersecurity?
Okay, thank you for the question. We have to know that cybersecurity first is like ocean. So like, there's a lot of elements that get into it. And there's a two main part of cybersecurity. The behavioral cybersecurity and the technical cybersecurity. And the danger of the society of today is when we talk about cybersecurity, everybody think about security technical aspect. So, however, the trend of the world today is telling us that at some point, cybersecurity has to be a behavior. It's not, you don't need to be in a career in a cybersecurity to behave cybersecurity. So it's not going to be part of our life. As long as we are digitizing our society, we are connecting our life to everything, then exactly cybersecurity has to be part of our daily life, not as a career, but as a behavior.
Correct. Agreed.
So when you want to do the research, first of all, research has scientific methodologies that no matter what the field is, you have to follow. And then once you apply those scientific methodologies, scientific requirement and principle of doing the research, you know that your research is on the right direction, in the right direction, sorry. Now, when it comes to cybersecurity, you have to define your area of comfort. Because the way you conduct research in a behavioral cybersecurity is going to be completely different from the way you conduct research in maybe network security or embedded security or mobile security. You don't need to be an expert in the field to conduct a research. There's a lot of people conducting a research about health, but they have never been in the medical field, right? So it's a matter of understanding and using that critical thinking and come up with either understanding of a phenomenon or providing a solution to a phenomenon. So you can be a cybersecurity researcher without being a cybersecurity professional. So it's not prohibitive, like, oh, you have to be the cybersecurity professional. Now, how to approach that? You have to approach it from your comfort zone. That's what I said. Because you don't want to change who you are or your capability to conduct a research. So if you are good at, like me, I really struggle with social science. So the first time I took information science theory, it was, I got home, I was so nervous. I was like, what the heck is going on? Because I didn't see numbers, I didn't see models. It was hard for me. But at the same time, I saw other people that were really enjoying, they were so happy, they were talking about it. I was wow. So it amazed me. So, but when you come to me, I'm comfortable with numbers. So if you see some of my papers I'm working on, they're just like equation, formula, and all that. I don't need to change become a behavioral scientist. Or if you're a behavioral scientist, be who you are. And just look at cybersecurity from that perspective. There's no area of our life that is not covered by cybersecurity. So you tackle it with your zone of comfort. That's the only way you can provide the better solutions, because you are who you are, and then you are comfortable with that. So your innovation will come naturally than just trying to do, oh, I have to do ethical hacking before I can do. No, you don't need that. If you are comfortable with one zone, you touch it. And now be humble, because it's so difficult that if you want to just show everybody that you are the one, you are good at research, and you want to do this, you go astray. So the area you focus on, be good. There are some people that do maybe mobile research, security. They don't even do anything. It's just maybe one source code that they will be working on forever and ever and publishing on 20 papers. So they become experts in that field, in that area, specific area. So you can focus on one area. You don't want to generalize, and you might not have a deep understanding if you focus. So that's why in the cybersecurity, you have to choose your area of focus. Don't just jump from left, right, from left, right, from left. Then you become jack of all trades. Yeah. And work as a team. Nobody owns the knowledge of cybersecurity. That's one of the fields that you never know. Somebody knows something more than you. So working as a team also provides you with that kind of critical analysis of what you are doing, what could be the impact, and what could be the limitations. So you have to be humble, work with other people, and get their point of view. Then when you get research, it can be any idea. When you get a research, you are comfortable because you know other people also see the value in that research topic or what you're doing. And if you work on that, you get good research, you get a good solutions out, you get a good publication. So those are the attributes that you need. You need to be a research-minded guy. Why? Who? How? So once you start asking those questions, you can do research in the cybersecurity. You don't even need to even know how to hack somebody's stuff before you do research. Okay, so once you know that, those are the basic that you can do. Can do a lot of. I saw a lot of cybersecurity experts in this country. Their background is even in maybe public administration, but they are the one we praise today as a figure in the cybersecurity. Yeah, you'll be surprised. Go to LinkedIn and see them. Most of the people we say as figures, 60% of them have no background in the cybersecurity, but they are experts today because they focus on one area, they deepen their knowledge, and they become that expert. So don't be afraid that, oh, I'm not in this, I'm not this. You can still do research in the cybersecurity. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kossi. I think you've made such good points, right? Certain things to talk about are the focus areas that you want to put by, and believe in yourself. And it's the problem solving that is more important than from the field that you come by. And most importantly, there was one part where you said that it is the behavior, and it is going to be part of our lifestyle no matter what. So it is better we accept it, and it's about solving our own problems and for a better society as whole, right? So such good points made, and I think this is it's going to be a good takeaway for anyone who wants to pursue research in cybersecurity. Thank you so much. So my last question will be to all of you, and we'll start with Pavani. And the question is, can you briefly explain your research work in cybersecurity, and also what are the research areas that are yet to be explored in cybersecurity which can be pursued by other students?
Thank you, Durga, for allowing me to talk a little bit about my research. So my research focuses on cyber threats, and I would be focusing on the healthcare industry in the United States. So the reason I'm interested in different kind of cyber threats is due to the occurrence of more cyber attacks within the recent years, especially with this pandemic going on a global basis. So in specific, I would like to conduct my research on how to mitigate insider threats in this healthcare 5.0. In general, I would like to focus on what are the organizational role and what is the technical role and what is the economic role within this mitigation. So a little bit about healthcare 5.0. 5.0 is also called digital wellness, where in healthcare you really relate to remote patient monitoring or the smart healthcare devices or the virtual environment for diagnosis of disease by the machines rather than by the medical advisor for early detection in cases of cancer or other threatening health syndromes. So this is something regarding my research topic. And in my opinion, there are quite a lot of fields that students can pursue research. My main emphasis would be in the compliance side. I would say the legal aspect of cybersecurity, because when we hear about cybersecurity, two terms come into my mind, which is security and privacy. We all only think about protecting the information. Where is the patient privacy, or where is the customer privacy going on? So privacy is one area that students can pursue their research. And the second aspect, I believe, is on zero trust, because in case of a zero-day attack, by exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities by hackers, there will be immediate disruption of services that affect the business operations. Especially when we had COVID, we had a lot of issues with the logistics and transportation, because a lot of cross-country obligations because of this global pandemic and the shutdown of certain services. So I would say business continuity is one area, with incident response and disaster planning is highly important. And the last but not the least, I would like to focus on threat intelligence, because there is a cross-border issues between all countries. There were like attacks, everything going on between several global countries, and we need to focus on cross-border issues. So detecting threats by enabling certain cyber threat intelligence is one great area to focus on. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Pavani. Shafi?
Thank you for asking me this question and my opinion. So right now I'm working on uh, game development, cybersecurity through game-based learning, where these days everyone is going over the internet to download video games, and probably to complete the most difficult level, they just go and download few hacks or something like fixes, mods. So that will threaten your asset as well as the network. So spreading the awareness, like how can this be avoided among the young minds of the society. So this we have come up with, developing a game like a simple password game, which shows the complexity of your password is really important. And the other area where I'm researching in the domain of cybersecurity is zero trust. So getting into the details of it, and why do we need zero trust? So according to me, there are a lot of domains where you can pursue your research in. The most specific would be, you know, uh, identifying the phishing emails. Okay, what kind of phishing emails or phishing voice phishing calls a person can get. Okay, you have a lot of documentation there, and you also have various exercises of creating a phishing email, so that you will realize like what kind of attack a person can face. And the second thing is, you can indulge yourself in the research of protecting yourself from a cyber attack, like ethical hacking, okay, or protecting your network, which comes under network security. So according to me, these are the areas one can pursue their research in.
Again, amazing suggestions for sure. And we'll move ahead to Dedeepya.
Thanks, Durga. I would love to share my research work. My work mostly focuses on generative adversarial neural networks in the cybersecurity area, where it consists of two neural networks which competitively learn to identify the fake information. In the recent trend, there are a lot of generative models, and we are getting lots of data, and uh, there is deep fake, and we need to identify which is the fake and which is the real information. So my work focuses on this part. Here, I would like to explain a bit more. Like I need to implement two neural networks. One acts as a discriminator and one acts as a generator. And generator is fed with some simple noise data, and it needs to create, for example, if we consider image, it needs to create an image that is similar to the target image. And this data is passed to the discriminator, and the discriminator needs to identify which is the fake and real information. So that in the training process, these two models continuously learn each other. And finally, we get a good generator and a good discriminator. And the discriminator acts as a defender, and generator acts as an attacker, so that we can build a good defense system. This is my research work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think among so far what I've listened, you are including machine model learning and AI-based aspects into the cybersecurity, which is going to be awesome. That is going to be a great fusion I want to see in future for sure, in the future research. And that's the next step in cybersecurity and AI fusion, right? So thank you.
Yes,
so let's move ahead with Yaseen.
So even though I'm doing my master's in data science, just like Kossi said, you don't have to be in the field of cybersecurity to go through that, right? So I had the opportunity to contribute in the perfect project. So the whole premise of the project was to, train students from 9th to 12th grade about cybersecurity. So I discussed the topic of, the basics of hacking and that. So just the basic part, what is hacking, just so they get an introduction, and what are the different types of hackings, the different types of hackers they have, and what are the, tips and tricks, and how you can create your own personal space online and you can be safe online. I discussed a little bit on that, and I also made some contributions with Shafi as well, like he discussed in his cybersecurity through the game-based learning part. So I have some contributions there as well. So not a lot, but I am in that field. So, and coming to the research part, I was in the class the other day and my professor was discussing about a topic which I found was pretty interesting. So it was the AI ethical side, with the use of AI and how we can have a research on AI and ethical side of with cybersecurity as well. So she was discussing about a model which was developed by a company. So the whole premise of the model was to, go through these resumes that people are sending, and then based on, previous training, he's supposed to select who, the future candidates. And it was found out that the model was selecting people from a certain race, even though the other people were equally eligible. So there is some bias, and we have these problems and the ethical part of it. So I think that is, where people and student can do their research, the ethical part of the AI and cybersecurity as well.
Right, and this is something so recently I've been to an AI conference. This has just been in this week or the past week. And this was one of the main topics that have been discussed there as well, is that the AI-based learning models that go along with it, one of the risks and concerns that come along with it is the bias, right? And as you said, it would be a great field for anyone to do the research to get the ethical standards or develop those kind of standards, which are yet to be properly and completely structured, right? We may have it, but they're not yet completely structured. So yeah, that's a great point for sure. And last but not the least, Kossi, would you like to add something to this on your research part?
Yeah. Currently, I'm working on, by the way, I'm an instructor of cybersecurity information course, and my research work is mostly on cybersecurity risk assessment using probabilistic machine learning algorithms, especially for agriculture.
Okay.
So today we heard about IoTs and all that. So technology enabled agriculture have a lot of challenges, and they have some features that don't fit into our known cybersecurity paradigm and all that. Now, how to use our existing models, algorithm, and machine learning models to be able to adapt it to agriculture field. That's what I'm working on. So more on IoT data stuff. Like we said, I said at the beginning, and I also said the same thing in this, like the example he gave about the resume stuff. It's not that the machine is not biased. Machine learning is never biased.
Okay.
It's the data you feed to develop the model that is already biased.
Biased, right?
So, and when I joined the UNT at the beginning, that's what I want to do more linguistic analytics in a cybersecurity. Because if you train a model, a create machine, or a device that is based on machine learning with Americans' data, there's a part of the data that we don't see that is more cultural. So it fits into the culture.
Right.
So if you use that and create products we send abroad, we are indirectly modifying other people's culture just by using AI without knowing. So that's funny part. Let me tell you this simple example. When I got in my country, pink color has no value. A male or female can use pink color. So the first time I got to the US, so I do a very nice clothes with the pink, and people start laughing, some asking questions. I was so surprised. You see that? So a machine learning algorithm based on maybe color. If you develop a product and you send it to my country, you might start giving that mindset, and every kid you ask, what is your favorite color? If it's lady, she will just say pink. Because so even an AI can transform our cultural value and norm if it's trained by data from others' culture. So that was one thing I need to do. How can we make sure the cybersecurity is viewed from a different cultural background, not only maybe dominating countries or maybe the so-called developed countries. So that, but you need more time and more tools to be able to assess that and to do that. So, and like one of my colleagues said, one of the main area today is the behavioral cybersecurity. Because those are based on principles that will never change. Tools change every time, but cybersecurity principle will never change. However, what are the tools? What are the ways to make sure that people start putting that as their daily behavior? So like my grandma, the first time we bought a phone for her, and then the phone started ringing, and she just grabbed the phone, and then she was just dancing. She didn't know she had to pick up. So she was like, this crap is ringing. What do I need to do? So I was like, okay, press here. So she pressed here. And then with time, she can now receive a call. But after she can receive a call, when she's on the phone, she'll be so loud that in her mind, she should be loud before that person can hear him. So it has to go through some training, which we fail today in doing. Everybody only used to, but the behavior, how we train people's behavior so that the most vulnerable assets in a cyberspace is human.
Correct.
So that's why information science, that's why I was even interested in information science cybersecurity at the first, even though I'm more quantitative guy, because that's the portion that we fail today. Everybody wants to develop the machine learning eye. Everyone wants to develop this device. But what about people changing the behavior in that direction? We see that. So that is something that we have to learn. No matter what, human will always be the most needed element in the cyberspace.
Right.
Okay, so I give one simple example today. There's one guy I went to eat with. So he has an Apple Wallet, right? So he want to pay. So he bought the food, so he want to pay Apple Wallet. So when he knows that he has Apple Wallet, he didn't bring his own physical wallet. And for some reason, Apple Wallet didn't work on the application. So we grabbed the food, and he was looking at the face of the young lady, and we were there, and he was like, "This is so embarrassing." I was like, "No, it's not embarrassing. It's because you don't know that technology can fail, but we as a human, we should be there." That is the idea of Society 5.0. Because Society 4.0 was based on developing technology to solve problems, technology to solve problems. Now, they don't focus on the human. So they focus on technology, which push maybe the society more towards sustainability. However, we fail the resilience. So what happened with that person was when the incident happened, there's nothing he can fall back from.
Correct.
He should have his physical wallet. So when this miss, you can have this as your backup.
For you, right?
Yeah. So the behavior, we just trust the technology and we are forgetting that the technology should not change our behavior. Our behavior should change the technology usage.
Right.
So it's so critical today, and you see less publication in that.
Correct.
The tool to even develop those kind of research are missing. We don't have it. So we need people in those kind of stuff and work on it.
Correct. I agree. I totally agree with that.
And the second portion of the Society 5.0, and one of my, I think, who's working in healthcare, healthcare 5.0, is the idea of the Society 5.0 is to be able to now, instead of focusing on technology, center everything on human. So we can address issue. So instead of having robots doing everything and me just hanging my head, just looking at the robot, and the robot will just go and just slap somebody's face without me knowing, because the data I feed in just tell to slap somebody. I should learn how to interact with the robots rather and use robots to perform better than if I have to do it myself.
Correct.
Then even the robot fail, I can be there as a backup. If I fail, the robot will be there to correct me, because there's some stuff that I can't perceive correctly, but the robot can capture the data and process it and give you a better idea. So when you see that the robot is doing something that's not good, then you have to follow that. So the idea of Society 5.0 is to be able to create research for us, to research how human can interact with those technology in an efficient way without losing we as human. And then the focus will be more technology, but the focus will be me.
Correct. Agreed.
Yeah. And so that's where one of the idea coming, and I like your research in a healthcare 5.0, because we are using all those technology, all remote and all those stuff. When we design the device, we already define what the device has to do without taking into account those people's actual needs. But in a Society 5.0, the device is designed first based on the needs of those people, real people. So it fit the needs and it became more useful for them.
Correct. Agreed.
Right? Because there's a lot of application today that you go, half of the features, you don't even need it, you don't need it. But since we are in a technology mindset, we are just creating more features that people don't even use at all.
Agreed.
And then sometimes it becomes so overwhelmed that people cannot use it usefully. So, and the last aspect, which might be a little bit technical also of the Society 5.0, is interconnectivity between human and all the technologies. So, before, if you take like a city like Denton, right? And we have a city of Denton, it has the traffic light. So there's a system that collects a traffic light, right? There's a system that collects maybe a toll-free. When you go to toll-free, that's collected as a deep learning machine that's used to get all those. And they have a system that take care of electrical stuff. They have a system that take care of water, right? So there's a silo. Every system is so separate. But in a Society 5.0, we put all those together. So that means as a city right now, he can use one database, one system that can collect all those information and put it in one single stuff. So the knowledge is full. So you don't just rely on one piece of information on one area to make a decision, but it's based off a lot of stuff. So I'll give you one example in agriculture. So I'm doing my farming, right? So I have to put a fertilizer. I have to put all the ingredients. So the market's evolution, there's a system already collecting how the market is going. So I know if my production will be sold at a good price or not. So by just getting the input, getting how the plant is growing, what is the behavior for up there? Other farmers, how they are doing their stuff, everything all those data are in the same place, and there's analytic perform on that. So even with that, you can know, okay, I need to increase more fertilizer. This time, maybe the price might not be good. No need to waste a lot of input, because when you sell it at the end, you might not get the margin of benefit. It might be slow. It might be small. So if you don't want that margin of benefit to be small, the only thing you can control is the cost.
Correct.
And now the costs come from a different parameters that we never collected in a very integrated way. But having something completely connected will help you to know immediately that, yeah, the cost, I need to control the cost because the selling price might not be really high this year, looking at all these parameters. And you don't need to go to those silos information. You just go to one single application, will give you all that. And that's even my field of work in my profession. So I'm in cybersecurity. So we are working more on this. So right now, you can get your water, your electricity, your gas, everything from different systems, from different cities. All those data packets come in a different format. There's applications that convert them depending on the format, send it to the database, and give you just one dashboard. Very nice and beautiful dashboard. You see that? So you can get that the same information. And that's how you can evolve. Now, doing that, there's a lot of security issue. Because that's assuming that somebody get access to that. Like you get access to the whole series information. Somebody was able to manipulate one portion of that. Even if he doesn't get the data, just manipulate one portion of that. That means all the decisions you will be making out of the result will be misleading. Because somebody was able to give you wrong data or just manipulate the data. So those are technical stuff, is how all this integrated system can work without creating more vulnerability or more what we call cybersecurity risk attack surface. Yeah, so those areas need to cover. That's where the idea of one of the idea of zero trust comes in. Because behavioral science, I forgot that at the beginning, behavioral science tell us today that no matter what you do, people's gonna be always a problem. So don't trust anybody. Even if you are an employee within the network, don't trust anybody. So before you do something, we have to verify who you are. Because technology cannot solve all those problems. Human and technology interaction, how we can make sure that during those interactions, we still have security and privacy is really hard. Even the company that we are working with, I'm working in a company, so we are providing those kind of solutions, but it's still hard. You need more research to be able to come with something that is good and also legal, because there are some solutions that are nice, but you can't even apply in the United States. They will just shut it down completely. So those are the areas. There's no single area in the cybersecurity today that is not critical. There's no single.
Correct.
You just need people to be bold, people to have that courage to address those issues. That's it.
No, I think I was just about to say that after listening to all of you, and I think you covered that in the last sentence, right? After listening to all the research work that is happening across, I was just about to say that, there's no single area that I can think that this is where cybersecurity is required. Rather, it is for everything and kind of making a better society and a better lifestyle as such for everyone, right? So it can be as simple as like the already existing technologies or existing fields like agriculture, healthcare, and it can be the futuristic upcoming technologies like AI, blockchain, all of that, or game developments and all of it. But there's no particular single area where you can there is a need for cybersecurity. It is actually all the areas that requires it. And so thank you everyone. I think this has been a great session where I personally have learned a lot.